False imprisonment is a common law tort that occurs when a person's freedom of movement is unlawfully restricted. In workplace investigations, this risk most often arises during investigative interviews and how they are conducted. A claim can be triggered whenever an employee reasonably believes they are not free to leave. This can happen through physical restraint, such as locking doors, blocking exits, or physically preventing someone from leaving a room. It can also occur through coercive language, for example, telling an employee that no one is leaving until you confess, or using threats that imply force will be used if they try to leave. In some cases, psychological pressure may also contribute, especially if the setting or behavior creates a reasonable fear that the person cannot exit freely. Even keeping someone in an isolated or controlled environment for an excessive period of time may raise legal concerns. However, the law draws an important distinction between true detention and internal workplace pressure. An employee's fear of losing their job if they leave an interview is generally not enough to support a false imprisonment claim. Similarly, a moral pressure to stay and clear one's name is not considered legal confinement. Case law shows how these issues can arise in practice. Courts have found liability where investigators physically blocked exits, refused requests to leave, or used intimidation tactics that effectively restrained the employee's movement. The key takeaway is that the conduct, not just the setting, matters. To reduce risk, investigators should follow clear safeguards. At the start of any interview, it should be made explicitly clear that participation is voluntary and the employee is free to leave at any time. Interview rooms should always allow unobstructed access to an exit, and doors should not be locked or blocked. Most importantly, if an employee indicates they want to leave, that request must be respected immediately, without pressure or resistance. Finally, proper documentation of the interview process, such as timing, setting, and conduct, helps demonstrate that the interview was conducted fairly and without coercion. In short, false imprisonment risk is avoided by one core principle: an interview must always remain an interview, not a detention.